So you like mysteries, huh? Well, then you gotta go where the stuff that dreams are made of is kept, and that's audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/IBRT for a free audiobook, from classic mysteries like Dashiell Hammett's The Maltese Falcon to thrillers of a contemporary cut like The Girl on the Train by best-selling author Paula Hawkins. Whether you like dead heiresses in the solarium or hot Tommy guns in the alley, Audible.com is your source for mystery. That's audibletrial.com/IBRT, because only a cheap gunsel would pass up a free audiobook, right? audibletrial.com/IBRT.
Following audio drama is rated PG for parental guidance.
Scoop Sisters Mysteries
on Icebox Radio.
Previously on Snowbank.
What happened?
Matt Anderson, Pete and Vera's boy, he found a body in the snow back behind the school.
Well, where's Mom?
I don't know. She left this note.
Mom's not here either?
You will be taken from this building and put into maximum security juvenile detention centers.
No!
When the threat you have caused is judged to be passed, you will be released into your parents' custody. Mr. Regal, do you agree with these terms?
Who's doing this to you?
They are. Mom's in charge of this place. Late at night when they come down here, I've seen them for what they really are.
What are you talking about?
There are guards here from town, but they don't run the place. The others run it. They aren't human.
Now, stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of Snowbank right after this.
Want to hear a story? Stories on MP3. For new radio drama, audiobooks, and spoken word content of all kinds, there is only one destination, storiesonmp3.com. To download free samples now, go to www.storiesonmp3.com. The official home of the Icebox Radio Theater on the web. Hi, this is Jeffrey Adams of the Icebox Radio Theater. The IBRT was conceived as a theater of the air for the borderland, but we need your help to make our dream of community radio drama a reality. We need to hear from our listeners. We need to know what kinds of plays you'd like, how we could make it easier to listen, or if you'd like to become involved as a performer, a sponsor, or by working behind the scenes. Just drop us a line at Icebox Radio, 908 3rd Street, International Falls 56649, or visit us online at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com. We'll repeat those numbers again at the end of the broadcast. But for now, on with the show.
In parts 1 through 3 of Snowbank, the Regal twins, Bobbie and Sean, were investigating the mysterious appearance of a dead man in a snowbank behind their high school. Agents claiming to work for the U.S. government arrested and incarcerated them to keep their silence about certain strange saucer-shaped aircraft they'd seen. Bobbie and Sean have escaped a nightmarish prison and are moving through the freezing moonlit woods nearby. Now, the conclusion of Snowbank.
Which way do we go?
I came through the woods over there. Yeah, I passed the house about a quarter mile back. If we can get there, maybe we can call for help.
The real police this time?
Or Mom and Dad. At this point, they're the only ones I trust.
But we saw Dad.
Bobbie, do you really think you were arrested and put in a juvenile hall?
Well, no, of course not. They don't have secret labs in the basement of juvenile hall.
Exactly. Which means whoever did this to us isn't the police, or the government, or anybody. Dad was fooled by them.
Or pressured by them.
Yeah.
Well, if it isn't the government, then who is it?
I don't know, but it's someone with the power to make Dad lie.
Dad doesn't lie, ever.
That's my point. Whoever these people are, they scare me. But for right now, let's just concentrate on getting out of the cold.
Okay.
The house is back there, come on.
Sean?
What is it?
I found a space heater. It's propane.
Good. I didn't want to light a fire in that place. Set it up over there.
Okay. Did you find anything out about this cabin?
Well, there's a bunch of address labels for family in St. Cloud. They're probably the ones that own it. There's a propane fridge that's, well, empty and clean. But plenty of canned food, though.
Good. I am starved.
I think whoever owns this place is finished with it for the year. And I think I know where we are.
Where?
Well, there's a lot of mail here addressed to a P.O. box in Turtle River. It follows that's the closest town.
Turtle River. That's pretty close to Black Duck, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a long way from home. Especially if we're talking about walking.
Maybe we should stay here for a while.
You already knew what they did to us. Just imagine what they did to the mom, or to Dad, or Becky. Besides, we made a promise to the girl back there.
I want to know who these people are. Who's even capable of doing this? I mean, if that wasn't a juvie hall back there, then where did they get those girls, and why?
Do you believe what you saw that night was real? I mean, not an illusion?
You mean the flying saucer? I always said it was real, I just didn't think it was from outer space.
Do you believe what Agent Smith said was true? That those guys work for the Domestic Intelligence Agency?
I don't think there is a domestic intelligence agency.
So what does that lead you to believe about the flying saucer, Bobbie?
No.
Why not?
Sean, they're not aliens.
Well, they've got to be something, because they're powerful, and they're not who they say they are.
There's a logical explanation.
Then what is it?
I don't know. Okay, I haven't had much time to think about it. I've been in prison.
Okay. Let's just not worry about this right now.
Thank you.
The important thing right now is to focus on getting home.
Did you see the shed out back?
No.
Well, I did. There's an old pickup, Sean. And I bet if we looked around, we might find a spare set of keys.
Oh, you can't be serious. You want to steal a truck?
This is an emergency. Everything we take will return or replace if we have to. I don't care if I get sent to real juvie hall. I'm getting home.
This sounds like some weird exercise in youth group. What would you do to break a law or a commandment?
Didn't you say there was an address around here?
Yeah, St. Cloud.
Are there stamps?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll write a letter. We'll explain everything that happened.
Everything?
Okay, we'll explain enough of what happened to make sense. And include our name and address. They can contact us and tell us what we need in return.
Do you think it'll work?
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Okay, but I'm driving. I have more driver's ed than you do, okay?
Just one term more.
Bobbie!
Okay, let's get started.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
I thought I heard something click.
It must have just been the propane heater. Let's just get started.
Okay.
Why are you stopping? We're almost there.
I know, but how are we going to do this? I mean, go straight to the police, or...
I want to go home.
Well, okay. I do too, but it's just...
Sean, what do you think's happening? Really?
You don't want to know what I think.
They could really be government agents, you know.
Yeah, they could. If our government agents just happen to be evil.
It's like, I keep going over this thing in my head, and every time through, I just get a little more confused.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. Promise me something.
What?
Whatever happens to us next, don't come back and get me.
What?
You broke out of jail and then came and got me. Don't do that again.
Bobbie, I can't promise.
I know. We've always had this thing. We know what each other's thinking. We know when something's wrong. Sean, I knew you'd escaped. But I don't want you getting recaptured again on account of me.
I'm not going to get captured in the first place,
I'm just
Bobbie.
saying, don't come after me anymore.
Is this your idea of being grateful?
Sean.
I'm not making any promises.
Please.
Look, they've taken away my dad. They've probably taken away my mom and my little sister. What am I supposed to do if they take you, huh? Am I supposed to just wander the highways for the rest of my life? I'd rather get recaptured.
You're an idiot.
You're welcome.
should do?
I'm gonna drive past once and just see if anyone's home. It looks deserted.
I'll just keep driving. What do we do now?
The police?
I don't know if we can trust them. All kinds of weird stuff is going on.
Well, what about that reporter, Nordland?
She just used us, remember? Said we'd seen flying saucers when we never actually talked to her.
Except...
What?
Bobby, if we didn't tell Nordland about seeing the flying saucer, who did?
Well, Agent Smith must have. He said he wanted us discredited.
Which might mean Nordland had nothing to do with it. Let's just drive out to the paper and see her.
Do you think we can trust her?
I don't think we have a choice. We have to...
What? Why did you stop?
Look at the school. Isn't it? Yeah, Bobby, it's Tuesday. And it's 3 in the afternoon.
The parking lot's empty. Is it a day off?
Well, still, there's always some cars. But now, there's nothing. Bobby, have you seen anyone since you've been in town?
Not on the street, but it's kind of cold.
But there were other cars, weren't there?
I think we were both so intent
on getting home, I don't even think we
really even noticed. There, up on the highway, there's a car. What are you doing?
I'm gonna chase it down.
Why?
Bobby, this is the only car we've seen all day. I want to talk to that guy, whoever he is.
Oh, don't drive so fast.
Just until I catch him. Hang on.
Okay, will you slow down now?
Just a second. Let me pull alongside him. That's not possible.
Sean, there's no one driving the car. What would...
Wait a minute. There's another one.
There was nobody in that one either.
This isn't our town.
What?
Bobby, this can't be our town. It's like a big model, like a giant train set.
What are you talking about?
We've got to go.
Sean, calm down.
They're coming for us again. We've got to get away.
You're gonna get us into an accident. Sean?
I see them.
There's some behind us.
They're all around. They're circling the truck.
Sean. You can't.
I have to.
Sean, you can't run them
They're circling around us, Bobby. We can't escape unless we go straight over them.
Sean.
Hang on.
Sean, no. What is it?
I don't know. The truck stopped.
Sean, they're coming.
Get out.
They're coming.
Scoop Sisters Mysteries will be back right after this. It can be in the sound of the orchestra preparing, or in the sound of a sculptor working in stone, or even in the sound of laughter from inside a theater. It is the sound of art being created, and for over 3 decades, the sound of art being created has rung loud and clear in northeastern Minnesota. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council has been encouraging local arts development in northeastern Minnesota through grants and services for over 35 years. Every year, they give out more than $500,000 to local artists and arts organizations, and that helps create $40 million in revenue and jobs created. To find out more about our arts programs or how you can get involved, visit aracouncil.org. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, where the arts flourish, you thrive.
How long do you think he's been in the snow?
Gonna be sick. It's them.
They all look like that guy in the snow. What are Mom and Dad doing?
I don't know. Should we? It's them.
They all look like that guy in the snow. What are Mom and Dad doing?
I don't know. Should we? It's them. Gonna be sick. It's them. It's them.
I don't want to know.
Bobby? Mom?
Jim, she's awake.
Oh, thank goodness.
Is Sean any different?
I think he's waking up. Sean, you with us there, big guy?
Where? What? No! No, you can't even take it away!
Calm down.
It's okay, son, it's okay.
Mom?
Yes.
Dad, is that really you?
Yeah, it really is.
Then...
I'm over here.
What do you remember?
Everything.
Dad, something's wrong.
I know.
Why did you send us away? I mean, we didn't deserve to...
I didn't.
What?
I didn't send you away.
Dad, we saw...
Honey, you saw a lot of things. Bobbie, Sean, where do you think you were all this time? Since you broke out of those places, I mean.
Well, we found a cabin.
And we borrowed that truck and...
Right. Then we drove down here.
How long did you stay in the cabin?
Maybe an hour. I mean, just long enough to get warm and get some food. What is it?
We shouldn't tell them.
Laura.
You shouldn't tell us what?
When you got away from the detention center that night, you did make it to a cabin, but that's as far as you got.
What do you mean?
We're not really sure because it took us this long to get to find you.
What's going on? I don't understand.
Sean, calm down.
No, I will not calm down, Dad. I was in that room when you agreed to send me to that place. And I was in that cabin and in that truck. And I saw this town empty with just a few cars driving around. I saw people on them.
I never agreed to send you anywhere.
But we saw you.
I know, but it wasn't me. All right, look, we need to talk this over.
Are you sure?
Laura, look at them. They'll bust if they don't know. And besides, it would be nice if someone were honest for a change. Sean, Bobbie, only part of what you remember really happened. The truth is, after you two met with Smith in school that day, your mother and I were called in for questioning.
To be interrogated, really. They talked to us for hours. They canceled appointments in our names and forged notes.
So you didn't leave Becky alone?
Oh, no. And by the way, thank you for getting her to Allison's house. It was a godsend that she was out of the way. Otherwise, these monsters would have found her.
So you were interrogated? Where?
A building down by the airport.
I knew it. We saw you there.
What?
We came down to try to find Agent Smith, and we saw you there. We peeked in the window. That was when they captured us.
Huh. So that disturbance we heard.
It must have been Sean and Bobbie.
You heard us?
Oh, we heard something, and we were told it was none of our concern and not to worry about it. After that, we were told you kids were in protective custody and would not be released until the threat was passed. But that was a week ago. I've been working nonstop to find out where they'd taken you since then and to get you released.
But we saw you. We talked to you.
I know.
But if it wasn't you in that room, who was it?
I don't know. I just want you both to know that your mother and I would never do anything like that. We believe in you two, and we believe in justice. No one gets sent to jail without due process, not even minors who are out after curfew.
Okay, we believe you.
Thank you.
But what about the truck and the cabin? You said we never really left.
Well, about 24 hours ago, your father finally got through to someone at Homeland Security, someone who was above that Agent Smith. They located you, they picked us up, and we were flown to a building. I think they said it was near Black Duck.
The detention center I was in.
Maybe. I don't know. They brought you up from the basement, and they said you'd been unconscious for a long time, but you didn't look natural. When we got you to this hospital, the doctor said you were full of all kinds of chemicals. Now you tell us you saw the town?
Well, we borrowed a truck and we drove to town. It was empty except for those agents.
Sean, you never came to town. You've never been back. We're an hour away right now.
Who can do something like this?
Well, that's what I think we need to find out, and right now. Laura, press the nurse's button, please. Kids, now that you're conscious, it's time we all got a few answers.
Awake?
Yes.
Good. Oh, back to the land of the living, huh? That's great.
Don't touch me.
Now, Sean...
Don't touch him.
Folks, I really don't see why we have to...
You promised us answers, Smith. Get on with it. Please leave so that I can start spreading your story to every newspaper in the country.
Do you think any of them will believe you, Jim?
Enough to lose you your job.
Well, that's rather vindictive, don't you think?
Yes, it is. And I hate being reduced to threats, but I will not be put off any longer. What has happened to my children?
Look, there are security protocols in place. We can't just break them to tell you...
Mr. Smith, have my children been causing trouble? Have they been an unwanted distraction from your regular work?
I guess you could say that.
Uh-huh. Then just imagine for a second what it would be like for you if their father...
And their mother...
...started doing the same thing. Snooping around, asking questions, being persistent.
I'd rather not imagine what that might be like, if that's okay with you. Okay. It does not leave this room. Manuel de Jesus.
What?
The man in the snowbank. His name was Manuel de Jesus. He's 42 years old from Fort Lauderdale. He went missing 6 months ago when scientists abducted him from his backyard. How he got into the snowbank behind your high school, we really don't know.
You had better start making more sense.
Look, to understand what's happened, you need to have an open mind.
We have open minds, but we want to know what's happening.
Okay, good. The whole story begins... It begins in a town called Roswell, New Mexico in 1947.
Oh, come on.
Mr. Regal, please.
You expect us to sit here and listen to fairy tales? Laura, get their things. We're taking the kids to another hospital.
I wouldn't do that.
Dad, don't listen to him.
I don't even think he's real. He's not even part of the government.
Oh, he does work for the government, Sean. I've been checking up on that, and it turns out our opinion of Agent Smith is pretty close to that of his supervisor.
Please.
One call from me, and he's out of a job.
Please! You want to know the truth? I can tell you the truth, but only if you're willing to hear it. Now, do you believe there's more to this world than meets the eye?
Yes, we do.
Then listen to me. Mr. Regal, you might not want to believe it, and you might want to think it was a fairy tale, but an aircraft did crash in Roswell in 1947.
So it's all real? I mean, flying saucers, Area 51?
But they're real, but most of what you know, that's legend. The truth is really pretty mundane.
They didn't look very mundane when they surrounded our truck.
No, I imagine they didn't.
So, who are they?
Well, we don't know exactly. We knew going back to 46 that they were here. Maybe the first atomic tests attracted them, I don't know. We couldn't communicate or find them or do anything about it, really. Not until the crash. That facilitated an introduction.
Well, where are they from?
We don't know.
What do they want?
We're not really sure.
If this is our time to get answers, I can't say I'm very impressed.
I understand, but you've got to understand that we've had practically no luck communicating with these people. We can't learn their language, and their attempts to learn ours has been spotty. We try to understand what they're after, but none of it makes sense. It's ironic. And in the movies, we make these creatures out to have 10 heads or 1,000,000 eyes, but inside they're basically human. The truth is just the opposite.
They look like us.
But they aren't. Imagine trying to communicate with someone with no common ground, someone who smells colors or can't understand how we can move from indoors to out without doubling over in pain because the air molecules sound so different. We've tried to learn from them, but that was a farce. And all they ever seemed to want from us was biological material.
So cattle mutilations?
Are real, yes.
And abductions?
That was our one and only success communicating with them. We finally got them to realize they couldn't just snatch people.
But the man in the snowbank? What about him?
Well, the abductions had stopped. But they started again recently. We couldn't really do anything to stop them, not unless they were willing to be stopped. See, in the 90s, the government was ready to call the whole relationship a wash, hoped they would stay out of sight, try to minimize their exposure to the public. We had never really learned anything from them anyway, just some things about theoretical physics and aircraft design. Well, then it all changed. We discovered that we needed them.
What happened? What changed it?
Well, the same thing that changed everything else. September 11th. We needed technology. We needed surveillance. We needed people that could function underground for long periods of time. And for the first time ever, we needed them. And they were willing to help for a price.
For a price? What price?
Dad.
Yes, honey?
You have to find the place where they took me. There are experiments in the basement.
Oh, no, not again.
Do you know about this? These experiments?
We've known forever. Rice? Smith, get down to Breckenridge right away. We've got a report of a Type 6 lab in place. I know about the treaty. I don't care. Obviously, Victor doesn't care either. Now, look, get down there now. And make sure you have medical people with you.
Who's Victor?
Victor? Oh, in Vietnam, they called the enemy Charlie. These are classified visitors, first letter V.
So you gave them people.
Look, they mean no harm. They're just scientists.
What about the man in the snowbank? He's dead.
That's under investigation.
And who ordered the abduction of my children? Your people or theirs?
I have to go.
I think that's a reasonable question.
Look, when the twins are ready, just leave. You don't bother checking out with anyone.
Smith, I think that's a reasonable question.
Yes, it is. Goodbye.
Smith! I think that's a reasonable question.
We tried so hard.
Tried to do what?
To make people understand. We said from the very beginning this was going to be a hard, long fight. That we were going to associate with people that weren't nice.
But that was overseas. You can't be talking about in this country.
Where do you think the men who flew the planes on 9/11 were hiding? It's all in country, Laura. It always was in country. Don't you people understand? There is no more freedom. There is no more protection of privacy. It hasn't been here since the invention of the microchip. Most people don't care because the illusion of freedom remains. We get up, we go to work, we watch football on Sunday, we watch our kids grow up, and nothing tells us we aren't free. But as long as we're not threatened, no one's going to look very close, are they?
I don't accept this. You don't have the right. No government has the right to put its people in harm's way like this.
If they wanted you, we could not stop them.
That's a cop-out. They've already proven they can be reasoned with.
Do you know what they're capable of? How much information their computers can compile in a second? When they're done, this country will have an electronic security grid so strong, it will be like having the Great Wall of China on all of our borders.
And that's your idea of freedom?
My idea of freedom? Your idea of freedom? None of that matters anymore, Jim. Do you even remember what it was like on September 12th? September 13th? What the country was like? What the country demanded? They were asking us to do the impossible, to turn a continent with 10,000 miles of unguardable border into a fortress. And we were told to do it regardless of the cost. Oh, and incidentally, this plan doesn't cost the American taxpayer one thin dime.
What happens to us?
What?
We know all these things. We know about the basement. We saw the aliens. We saw what they could do. Are you just going to let us go?
Look, I've studied this family. What you wanted was answers. Okay, now you have them.
Yeah, but are they the truth?
Well, you'll need to look into your own gut for that. Don't look for documentation. There isn't any. A society with a brain capacity several thousand times ours doesn't need to write things down, you know.
So you're just going to let us go?
Yeah. You know the truth. You're four of very few people who do. I promise you they will leave you alone.
And if we try to expose them?
Look, there's a lot of UFO stories out there. What'd make yours any different than the ones that you read in the checkout line? My advice to you is take the government's apology, secret though it might be, go home, and forget all about it. Satisfied?
Hardly. But I guess it'll have to do.
Look, go back to your lives. It's not so bad, is it?
What do we do now?
Well, do you believe him?
I don't know what to believe.
He's telling the truth.
Yeah.
All of it. It's all true.
Bobby, you couldn't possibly know that.
But I do. That's the thing. I do.
Sean, come here. Here, gather round. Get close. We knew this was a fallen world, right? We knew there was no paradise on Earth, no matter how hard we tried, no matter how much we wanted it. Well, then we have to do about this what we do about everything else. The best we can.
With what we've got.
Right. And we begin in the same place that we always begin. Here, circle up. Sean, would you like to start?
Heavenly Father, thank you that we've come this far safely. We ask that you
This has been Snowbank, a 4-part miniseries. Presented by Icebox Radio Theater. Part 4 starred Anna Remus as Bobbie and Brock Cronky as Sean. Jim was played by Ben Utter, and Becky Aitken played Laura. Agent Smith was portrayed by Jean G. In all 4 episodes of Snowbank, 23 characters were portrayed by 15 actors. The script was written by Jeffrey Adams. Our engineer was Stephen Adams. Music by Hollis Higgins. Broadcast and production facilities provided by station KXBR International Falls. For a complete cast list from all 4 episodes of Snowbank or MP3 recordings of previous episodes, please visit the Icebox Radio Theater website at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com. This program is copyright 2004 by the Icebox Radio Theater, which is solely responsible for its content. To comment on this program, write to Icebox Radio, 908 3rd Street, International Falls, Minnesota, 56649, or visit us on the web at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com. This is Neil Smith speaking.